loves, welcome to my little corner of the world, where we slow down, create something beautiful, and escape into stories together. If you're new here, I'm Raquel, and I'm happy you found your way here. Today, we're talking about Beastly, that came out in 2011, a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast. It's not a bad movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not amazing either. It's cute, it's enjoyable, but it's not gripping from start to finish for me. It's interesting to talk about it though. Let's do a quick overview of the plot. On one side, we have Kyle Kingston. He's rich, is popular, is shallow, and is super obsessed with his looks. And on the other side, we have Kendra, that it's a witchy outsider that he sadly humiliates. So she curses him, and he becomes a reflection of his inner ugliness. And this is where things get weird, and they lost me here for a second. So, Kyle is super shallow. He's always training at in front of a mirror. He's always taking off his shirt to enjoy his looks. He's always making sure he looks sexy and he looks awesome. He's a popular guy at school, but this means he's not a nice guy for everyone else, and that's why no one likes him. The first scene of the movie, we see him training and getting beautiful and all sweaty because he wants to look good for others. But here's the thing that I've noticed right at the beginning of the movie. It does this because his dad is also really obsessed with looks, and deep down he wants his dad to notice him, and wants his dad to acknowledge his son. I This was what I felt about it, and so we first see Kendra here trying to warn him about his looks, about how he's not a good person, how he needs to treat others better, and not only taking care of looks and humiliate others because of their looks. And this is where he's like, okay, so I'm sorry, but he's being ironic, okay? He's like, I'm sorry about that, so we're going to have a party, yada yada, and wanna come? And she's like, okay, let's see what you're up to. I'm going to this party, and we'll talk there, because I'm giving you just one other chance to be a better person. So we see that the party is up, and Kyle is having fun with his girlfriend, I'm assuming, and they are mocking others, they are being rude, being mean, but his eyes are into another girl, and this is not that deep here. But then comes Kendra, and she arrives at the party, and she's like, oh boy, she's like there, she's observing, and as soon as Kyle locks eyes with her, He goes to her and he starts to really mock her and humiliate her, and he's like, "Oh, you thought I was really wanting to date you, and you really thought this was a real invitation, and you would really be my date for this." What it's really important here is that he humiliates her, but he didn't mess with a witch. So the only thing she says is, "I just came here to give you a second chance and to see how you would react." And he doesn't care about what she says, and as soon as he goes to another place to get some hair and, I don't know, contemplate his beauty, or I don't know, whatever that is, she goes to him, and this is where she curses him. So she gives him a year to change, to learn how to love others, and to make someone love him without his looks, his appearances. And he turns him into something, I don't know. That thing is not what I wanted, because he doesn't become a beast. He becomes tattooed, scarred, shaved, and metallic. I don't know. That was weird, but it's more of a edgy model than a cursed creature, and this is where they lose me, because mm, where is the beast? Where is it? It's not scary, it's not tragic, it's just super hot, super weird. I don't know. It feels like a dramatic makeover than a curse. This is more of a teen drama. And actually this is what we get from the whole movie vibe. It's more of a young adult romance than a fantasy romance. So, is this a faithful retelling of Beauty and the Beast? No, not a chance. But it keeps the basic idea: selfish guy that gets cursed and needs to learn how to love and be loved, and the curse is, it breaks. But we are missing the magic here. We have no enchanted castle, we have no magic objects and talking objects, we have no atmosphere, we have no wonder. We have Kyle, is the strongest part of the movie because he's the cursed one. He learns empathy through isolation, so he's not living with his dad anymore. His dad gets him a an apartment so far away from his own place. He leaves him alone. He, so as soon as he is not pretty anymore, as soon as he not handsome, he's not sexy, he's not popular anymore, he's all alone. And the only the only people he has is his tutor and the housekeeper. Next, we have Lindy. She's a sweet girl, she's super kind, she's grounded, she's very responsible, but she's not developed enough. She comes up first when Kyle is giving that party where he humiliates Kendra, but the only thing she tells him is she wants to go to Machu Picchu, and if they take a picture together, he gets interested in her somehow. But this is the only time we see them interact until the curse, and then she's only appearing, I don't know, we are in the first hour of the movie, and he's like stalking her, full on stalking, because instead of talking to her, he's now afraid to show up to others because he's ugly. He gets a few months where he's alone, and he finds Kendra, and is like, I've learned my lesson, so you can change me now, you can put me back to being beautiful again. And she's like, no, you have learned anything, and you still need to endure everything because you don't have anyone to say that they love you. This is everything it does. But as I was saying, when they meet for the first time is when she mentions she wants to go to Machu Picchu, and they leave it there. And I felt she's like more a symbolic representation. You know, it's I'm trying to describe the movie as good as I can, but it's lacking a lot of story development and growth. Yeah, that's it. It lacks growth because she's not there at the story until we are an hour in advance or so, almost an hour of the movie, and it's is weird because he stalks her, and he knows where she lives, and then she gets a an active part of the movie only when his dad gets in trouble. I'm not a hater, okay? But this movie was really hard to pay attention, and I'm getting this was not an easy movie for me to watch from start to finish. It's a little hard for me to remember the specific details of the movie because, my God. But I'm doing my best here, okay? She becomes an active part of the movie as soon as he saves her from a gang her dad is involved too, and from what I could understand, is into drugs, and he owes a lot of money to dangerous people, and they hurt Lindy. She blacks out. Kyle gets her to safety on the building where she lives, but as soon as he gets to where her dad is, the dad killed a guy. One of the two guys he owes money and were threatening. So they made a deal right there and then. What a weird deal, but I guess this was their excuse to be somehow related to Beauty and the Beast, because he tells the dad, well, they are coming for her, you heard them, so let her be with me, she'll be safe, and no one will touch her, I can protect her. And so this is where the story really begins, because the dad gets her there, The housekeeper and the tutor are the ones she sees right away, is always hiding, and she hates everything and gets to hate his own dad for valid reasons. I don't know why the movie called itself Beastly, because he's not a beast. He's tattooed, he has scars all over his face and body, he has. Eh. We get the tutor and the housekeeper. They are warm, human, and they are really essential. They are more essential to the story than Lindy, at my perception, because they are the only ones that stood up with Kyle. They become really friends with him. They make him see all the world his. They try to teach him how to be kind, how to be brave, how to embrace the changes. The tutor is blind, and the housekeeper has her kids living in her own country, and that's it. Mm, this is what the movie is all about. Is the housekeeper and the tutor, they are teaching him how to be brave, how to acknowledge he was wrong all along, how to talk to her properly, how to engage with her, how to not be afraid of who he is at the moment, to make her feel alive, make her feel pretty, and make her feel seen and understood and welcome at his place. And he tries to give her expensive gifts, and we see him gifting her Prada shoes, expensive necklaces, and she rejects everything. So he goes to the housekeeper and asks, "So she didn't like anything. What can I do?" And go get something expensive, something bigger. And the housekeeper tells him, no, because you need to see that she doesn't care about these kinds of things. She's not that kind of girl. She won't be bought with those gifts. You need to acknowledge she has her own thoughts, she has her own feelings. You need to understand what she likes, and that is how you get to her. And after he thinks about what the housekeeper said, he gets her some juices or candies. I don't know, but they are a full box of candies or juice or whatever. And she kind of likes it, and they start talking at this point. They talk about trivial things, they start to know each other, but it doesn't really show her his face. So he's scared she's going to reject him, she's not going to like him. She's eager to know who he is and why he got her there and why her dad made her live there. And this is what we get so far from the whole story and the whole plot and whatever. So we have some main themes at the movie. So we have the beauty and superficiality of the way he treated others. I need to say this, but Kendra is what made me watch the movie until the end, and I wish she was more present, we see Kendra only at the beginning of the movie when she's threatening him to be a better person. We see her again at this party where he humiliates her, and she's like, "You're cursed," and she definitely curses him. And we see her again when he goes to her and asks her to make him normal again because he learned his lesson, and she's telling him that he didn't learn anything yet. And we will see her again almost when the time is finishing. So we have the beauty and superficiality, we have the loneliness, we have the redemption. We see Kyle finally understanding what it feels like to be judged by others and by his looks. We also have the friendship he builds with Lindy before they actually start to fall in love with each other. We see him write letters to her, and he's getting into that creative part because she's a sensitive girl. So we see him build a greenhouse for her because she likes flowers. She's a sensitive girl, but this at the same time she's getting to know him and becoming his friend. We see her talking to someone where she keeps saying she wants to do that Machu Picchu trip to become really free, and he starts to notice that in the end she's afraid of him. She won't love him the way she needs to, or he wants he wants her to love him. But is it a real is it real love when you trap someone somewhere? In the end, he made her be there. He locked her there. And he starts to learn it the hard way. I mean, the message is here, you know. He really needs to learn how to love others, and others need to love him for what he is and not for what he looks like. But where is the magic? Where the real ugliness, the real monster, the beast? It's really hard for me to talk about this movie because I don't know what to say, because it's not a great movie. I wanted to like this movie more. I really did. But so we have a moment where it takes her to a place he really likes, and they watch a documentary about an elephant mom and the baby she lost, and how she was able to find. This is an emotional scene. This is a good one because he's talking about himself. He's talking about how he felt alone when he lost his mom, and how he always come back to that place and watch that movie over and over again, because for him love is all about this elephant mom losing her son And when she comes back to to the place where she lost the baby, she recognizes the bones. And for him, love is all about the intensity, being having a kind of love that no one has. And this was a good scene. I can say this was a moment where the movie got me. And this is not enough for Lindy to forget about Machu Picchu's journey either, but Kyle is determined to make her fall in love with him. So starts asking advice to his tutor and the housekeeper. So they remind him is rich and that he has a lake house. So they tell him just go there, just take her there, and you two enjoy the moment. So this is what it does. He goes to that lake house with her. They start enjoying their time together. He has all the letters with him and he's getting ready to say he loves her. But as soon as they were ready to have their moment and maybe fall in love again with each other, and she realized she has some feelings for him, she gets a call, and it's from the hospital or that had a overdose and he was fighting for his life, so she has to go. He takes her to the train. They say their goodbyes right there and then. Before this happens, he gave her the letters he wrote. So as soon as she is sitting on the train, he sees that she starts reading the letters and he's like, don't read them, don't read that, and yada yada yada, and he's scared. But it's too late because she's already reading the letters, and after this, he closes himself even more. And she tries to call him regarding the letters, and he's not responding, he doesn't care. I mean, he's hurt because he had to let her go to help his dad, and he did the right thing. So it's at this point where we see him go to Kendra and ask her to forget about him, but give the tutor and the housekeeper what they want and forget what he wants. And she's like, so you are finally learning about something, but you need to win first, and then I'll see what I can do for them, but only if you succeed. This is also a good moment. She's iconic, she's a cool witch, she's really amazing. Machu Picchu trip day and the deadline for his redemption come hand in hand because they happen at the same time. And he goes there to say have a good trip and enjoy yourself and be happy. And I hope you have everything you want. And this is where she actually says that she loves him. He wins. But this is not enough because he tells her to go. They tell their goodbyes, and I feel the redemption happens around here because his change feels real, especially at the end right here. He's not the same person as he was at the beginning of the movie. So this was not about Lindy because he spent most of the time with the tutor and the housekeeper. So for me, his change happened with those two, not with Lindy. So everything he did and all of his changes happened because he was with the tutor and the housekeeper, and they were teaching him how to be a better person. They teach them how to embrace changes. They teach them how to be happy even though they have their issues and difficulties and their problems. So for me, Lindy was not his redemption. The tutor and the housekeeper were. And so, as soon as he leaves the school grounds, she told him she loves him and is looking at his reflection at the glass door on the school grounds, and he sees that he's back to being his whole self, Kyle, and he's ready to let her go. So he lets her go and starts to walk away from the school. He's back to normal, but then Lindy goes to him and starts looking to him, and she looks at the old Kyle and she's like, oh, so you're back. I didn't know you were back, and yada yada yada. And the way the movie does a parallel again with Beauty and the Beast is by the fact that in order for her to recognize him, it tells him the same story he was telling her when they were watching the Elephant Mom movie about love and the kind of love she was eager to get and the love he wanted to give her and to also receive. So this is where she recognizes him as his whole self. And this is how the movie ends. They are in the middle of the street, they are talking, and we see the camera zooming out. And for what? For what? I swear I'm not a hater. I swear I'm not hating the movie. I don't love it. For me, there were a few things that work really well on this version of the Beauty and the Beast, and others that not so much. For me, what works. Kyle's development is the emotional moments we get here throughout the movie. They really look real. They look authentic, and this really works really good for me. The message about the inner beauty also is a good message. It works really well, and this is a theme that will always work anywhere. Kendra's chaotic vibe is amazing. It's, like I said, it's the best part of the movie for me. It's Kendra. She's edgy, she's wild, she's a very charismatic witch. She gets seconds of screen, and I feel like this is this is almost everything the movie has to offer for me. Other than this, if you are going to watch the movie thinking about how you're going to get a loyal version of the Beauty and the Beast, you're not going to be happy about the movie, because I was not happy about the movie, because we see Beastly and we think about Beauty and the Beast, the Disney fairy tale, and the castle, the rose. Belle is the main character, and Lindy is just a side chick. Not a side chick, okay? Don't get me wrong, but she's not the main character here. Kyle is, and the tutor and the housekeeper are the main characters. She's not the main character. I feel like I could be. I might be telling something stupid, but for me, Lindy was not the main lead. She was just um, a symbol for Kyle to change. She was just a symbol to Kyle change back to being normal and beautiful, and she was not there for character development, and I'm so sad. I wanted to like I wanted to like this, and I I just couldn't. I really couldn't enjoy the movie, and so I already told you what worked in the movie for me, but now let's talk about what didn't work. And for me, what doesn't work is the transformation design, because it's ridiculous, because it didn't become a beast. It only became, I don't know, a tattooed man full of scars and metallic, those scars or metallic designs or whatsoever. Yeah, that's not being a beast, that's being an emo. Let's just say that almost looks like he's an emo and not. The lack of magical atmosphere, it's really pulling me off since the beginning of the movie, because there's no magic rose, there's no. Okay, the only magic we see is the tree tattoo that changes on his arm and follows the year station, the winter, summer, the spring and autumn, and this is the only thing that gives us the time perception, and that's it. Even though the tattoo is a good timer, the rose we had on the Beauty and the Beast, the rose, the petals falling off, and here he had only a year to develop feelings, to change, to be a better human, but In Beauty and the Beast, I feel I can't remember well, but I feel like he was there on the castle alone with his stuff for 10 years. And this is what doesn't work again, because there's no strong connection between the Disney version to this live recreation. Why call it beastly, or to make us believe it's Beauty and the Beast when it's not that Beauty and the Beast? And again, some awkward dialogues we see throughout the movie, the the bad jokes we see Tutor have, or I don't know, that was some awkward. I don't know. This movie loses me every time. The whole story lacks a lot of things, but things I liked in the movie: the fact that Kyle's transformation is real, it feels real. Kyle really learns a lesson and becomes a more empathic person. He becomes a selfless person. The way he gets to this point is a little concerning, because he stalks Lindy um, a good part of the movie. He makes a deal with her dad to kidnap her, because for me this is kidnapping. Okay, Beauty and the Beast also kidnaps Belle, and this is a slight similarity, but not quite. And but Beast didn't stalk Belle before she got to the castle, while Kyle was full on stalking Lindy on her house, on her job, while she didn't know he was a person, if you know what I mean. And even though the movie is not that bad, because the tutor and the housekeeper, they really, really, really save the movie for me. Also, Kendra, with her chaotic energy and the way she presents herself, her tattoos, her makeup, her clothes. That for me is what makes me watch the movie until the end, because the movie has good moments, the moments where you look like a dork while trying to get her the gifts, and the way he starts talking to the housekeeper to help him find the way to. Sometimes I wonder what the hell is Lindy doing in the movie besides being the symbol he needs to get love and be loved by someone. Because for me, the first ones to really love Kyle for who he is, and to make him see better and be better, are his tutor and his housekeeper. In the end, I wanted more of this movie, okay? So My final thoughts about this movie are very, very mixed because Beastly is not a masterpiece whatsoever, but it's not a terrible movie either, okay? It's sweet, it's simple, it has a few meaningful moments, and we we like the characters, or most of them, because I really love Kendra way more than I like Lindy or the tutor or the housekeeper. I would rank this movie a 6 out of 10 because it's not the movie for me. And I'm really sorry if anyone loved this movie and I'm talking a little bit bad about this movie, but this is my opinion. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. And for that, it's a 6 out of 10. This is the final look. And if you've seen Beastly, tell me what you thought. And if you want more movie chats while we get ready together, leave your suggestions below. Thank you for spending this time with me, loves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.